We have the most expensive cell service in the world. Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like people pay $150 a month for their phone here. Like, if you're a business that has a business line and a business license, you can literally lock into a business plan that's like $75 a month with unlimited across North America. But if you're a home user or just an individual, your bill is $80, $90, $120 to actually have any data on it. And that's what it is, right? Like, Canadian cell service is disgusting. Our gas is now up to what it was the other day, $1.84 a liter. Now is where we are right now. It's just crazy, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I just can't. There's got to be a point where the public is just going to go.
Well, they're actually at that point in Canada now where families can't feed themselves. Like, it is what it is, man. You go to the store and one single plastic little grocery shopping bag of groceries is over $100. And all that is bread, milk, eggs, some butter, and it's $100. Okay? Yeah, seriously. So they're capping it. And now the governments are trying to pass new laws that are going to it's fair food policies are trying to be passed in Canada now. The bank rates are being reduced. Our government has destroyed our economy so bad by the crazy billions and billions in spending that literally they've made the inflation is so bad that it's crazy. The debt in BC alone is billions and billions of dollars. Like hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's because of our forest fires and all the fighting and the damage that's happened to our roads and our infrastructure and everything. Has just been hammered the last 5-6 years. It's been horrific. But then the government is literally spending this. And now Canada is way behind in their defense spending. They've literally just appointed the first female as our head of defense. She is the #1 girl as a woman now. She's just been appointed, which is awesome. It is what it is. She's a 30-year person, but she's taking on an incredibly big problem. It just is what it is, because we're facing the Trudeau government, which is liberal, being removed, and if the whatever the hell it is, the Conservatives, I guess is what it is in Canada, gets in, they'll shut everything down. They'll cut everything off. They'll shut everything down. They'll cut back on seniors funding. They'll cut back on medical. They'll cut back on everything. And there will be nothing left. They will leave us in a serious problem, unable to recover. We are already at the point where GenX are the people that support the country. All the money is being held by the baby boomers still, like 56%. The Gen Xers are the next line that are actually about to receive these monies through retirement and this type of thing. But the point is, no Gen X will ever be able to retire anymore. I'm 52 years old. There's no chance in hell I will ever be able to retire. I'm unemployed right now because of the Canadian economy and everything that's happened. I've lost my businesses, my company, everything. Like, we all know this, but it's crazy.
I don't even know what to expect.
Yeah, we never know, man. I don't care who gets in. They're all frickin' corrupt. All governments are corrupt. It's the only way to stay in the game. If you're not corrupt and follow along and play the stupid game, they're just going to kick your ass out. I don't care who you are. You may have been the best, most prolific, want to change the world politician on the planet, but the minute you actually get elected, if you don't play the game and become the scumbag, you're going to be gone. It's just the way the world works, man. Government is not the controller of anything. The corporations are. Government is just the figureheads to appease the people. The corporations make the decisions. We all know this.
Yeah,
there's like I think there's 3 companies that own pretty much everything.
I've been surprised at how much I've cut out of my life, and uh, I'm very thankful that I've got one buddy that kind of keeps feeding me in the background. Go out and repurpose something. You know, go out and make your own tools. Don't go out and buy a $250 tool. Uh, in
I
the olden.
completely agree with that. I think it's actually in the world's best interest to really get back to the old ways and learn how to do shit all by yourself from scratch again. Because with the way the world's going, it's only a matter of time before they shut the power off. And once that happens, the entire planet is just screwed. Like they're screwed because 90% of the population cannot survive without electricity. Especially the millennials and the Gen Zs and whatever. Like, I don't know. Gen X, we were born in the dirt. Born in the
Well,
dirt, played in the dirt, lived in the dirt. We were unsupervised. We took care of ourselves. We were 30 at 5. It is what it is. But today's people, they're little squishy things, man. Like, they don't have anything. They show their tits. Like you've got LGBTQs and you've got all of these other things in the world that are great people. They're fantastic. But when it comes to crime and existence and being able to take care of yourself when you can't go to the grocery store and buy food, that's a different game. When you have what is there on the planet now, 11 billion people? When you got 11 billion people fighting over what food is left because nobody knows how to do anything anymore. There's no power to run anything. You don't have gas when you don't have electricity to make it. Like your tanks and all this shit is eventually going to run out, and you're looking at a Mad Max dystopian type frickin' world is what is going to come of it.
Without electricity, you can't even buy.
You can't do anything anymore, man. Like, they literally don't know how. There's no cash. There's no nothing. It goes back to a barter system. It's like you're trading a sheep for a goddamn, for a bale of wheat. And it is what it is. It's like, if people don't understand, like, there's exceptions, don't get me wrong. Like, every bloody Gen Z, every generation has great people. There's outdoors people, there's people that really know their shit, there's survivalists, there's all sorts of people that are going to do fine. But that's the 10%. The 90% that I'm talking about they're screwed, man. They're screwed. I mean, what are you going to do? You got a 90-year-old grandmother. She can't go out and hunt. Are you kidding me? What is she going to do? Somebody has to take care of them. Somebody's going to have to go. And this world has been so destroyed, you can't just go out and hunt anymore. The animals are gone. Like, the wildlife isn't there anymore, man. The world has been changed. This isn't the way it was many, many decades ago. I don't know, man. The world's in an interesting place, and I really hope that they figure this shit out and figure it out, because I suspect it's going to get a crap load worse before it ever gets any better, if it ever gets any better.
I can't get plants to continue to grow. I can get them to kind of sprout, but to survive, I've got bean plants that are growing, but I haven't seen any beans.
Yeah, well, you're in heat waves down there too, aren't you?
Oh, it hasn't gotten hot yet.
I have been dealing with 38 to 40 degrees for 3 weeks, man. Like, it's brutal. We are just dying up here. All of Western Canada, we've had 160, 170 fires start in the last 48 hours. We have over 300 fires burning now, and 170 of them or something like that are completely out of control. Like, it's just gone from, well, it actually wasn't too bad, to an absolute nightmare. Like, Western Canada is in serious trouble right now. We have lightning strikes like crazy. We're still dealing with this crazy heat. We're supposed to get a little lull, but we're going into our hottest month. August is our hottest month, not July. And July has been 3 weeks of no rain. We haven't had a drop. And that's what it is. It's typically right till the end of August is usually the same. We have this heat. I mean, our average temperatures in the summer in August are 32 to 36, which is normally what the temperature is here in August. And we've already been dealing with 38 to 41. Like yesterday was 41 degrees. 41 degrees Celsius. It's too hot, man. You can't walk outside. The heat wave hits you in the face and just sucks the life out of you. It's just brutal.
I've been blessed this week. We've had a couple of rainstorms come through. It's actually dropped, down to the mid 70s Fahrenheit. At least at night. It's actually got kind of a nice cool breeze out right now.
Shit. Tonight, man, it's supposed to go down to 12 degrees Celsius overnight tonight. I've been going for a walk at 1 o'clock and then again at like 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever in the morning, just to try to cool my body. But last night it didn't get below 20. It didn't get below 26. So it was just dead stagnant air. So I went outside and I was sweating worse when I came back inside than it was when I went out. So crap. But tonight it's supposed to cool off good. And my mom's the strata president of the building here. Like she's the controls everything for everybody. She does everything, and this heat's killing her too. She's got a big strata meeting on Thursday, I think, and it's actually supposed to get down to minus 24 for a daytime high that day. And the room she's got to be in is just brutally hot, so that's really good. I'm happy about that. But then it goes down to 24. Like the day before, it's like 32, and then it goes down to 24, and then it goes back up. Like I think we have 2 days where it's a little bit, 24, 26, and then it goes right back up to 31, 32 for the next however long. So it is what it is. And our fires, I mean, we've got all sorts of towns evacuated again already. Like a lot of them happen so fast. They are just like, this thing came at us so goddamn quick. The place I used to live, Williams Lake up north, there was just a tree fell on a power line and right in the community. And the fire was just nuts. It was 20 hectares in minutes, and people, like, they had to do evacuations with the RCMP, like, get out now, run. The fire's right behind your house, like, go. Kind of stuff, And this is what we've been dealing with for years, man. It's every year, it just gets worse and worse. But Kelowna, where I am, has been really lucky this year. We don't have any big fires close to us right now. Last year was the worst. I mean, we lost hundreds of houses last year. Last year was the worst fire year they've ever seen. And even 20 years before, it was the same thing. They lost 200 plus houses on the other side of the lake. But last year was worse. But it's crazy, man. The weather is just so different. And it's always different. Like, there's no such thing as normal anymore. It's like, what is normal? Who knows? It's so different every year. You just don't know what's going to happen or what to expect. These freaky atmospheric rivers and lakes where it drops a year's worth of rain on you in 5 minutes and destroys all your highways. I mean, that cost the province billions. And Vancouver was cut off. They literally had no way in or out. BC couldn't get groceries, man. We had to bring groceries from Alberta. Our grocery stores were empty. Like, the shelves were empty. It was like there was almost 2 weeks after that it took them just to get stuff in. And that was the point. It was like if the big one, the big bloody earthquake that they're talking about that's coming off the west coast of Canada, if that would have happened at that time, millions of people would have been killed because they had no way out. All 3 highways were unpassable. They were literally destroyed. Like all 3 major highways, the only way to get out of Vancouver, there was no way out. They could not leave. The only way they could have left was to go literally into the States. They might have been able to escape that way, but yeah, going south on the San Andreas Fault is not a good idea. But that's just the thing. I mean, that was why They threw everything, man. Like, there was hundreds of excavators working on this for 4 months. It was the most incredible engineering feat pretty much ever done in the history of man. They rebuilt that highway. The Coquihalla was literally destroyed. I think it was 26 different sections were completely gone. Like, this is a double lane highway, man. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar highway. And the bridges and roadways were just like the landslides came after these rains and just washed the highway away. It was gone. Gone. People, it was impassable. There was no way in or out for months. And it was all 3 highways got taken out. So it was quite a time. But they threw everything at it. Like, literally, there was no budget. It's like, get it fixed. They worked 24 hours a day, and they rebuilt this highway in 4 months, which is the most incredible engineering feat that you can imagine when you look and see the scale of it. Like, I'm sure in the years to come, there's going to be documentaries. There's going to be shows explaining and showing the rebuild and explaining what happened. Because, I mean, it's nuts. Like, what they accomplished is mind-boggling. Like, it's incredible what they actually accomplished. Because that was the point. Vancouver's millions of people, and they were cut off. And that's where the rest of BC, it all comes in from the ports of Vancouver. That's where our food, that's where our life comes from. I mean, Canada's big, man. We have to feed that all the way to northern BC. That's like 1,600 kilometers. You know, it's a long ways. We got railways. They were cut off. Everything's cut off. There was no way through. And then you turn around and 5 minutes later, you're dealing with goddamn forest fires. Because that all happened in April. That was when we had the heat wave in April. And then right after that, we got hit by these stupid atmospheric rivers that just destroyed everything. And it was just like, this is what they're dealing with year after year. So it's like BC's debt. They're saying each individual person in BC is like $20 billion or $20 million or some stupid thing in debt. It's crazy. It's like the actual truck came through Kelowna just the other day that has the debt. It's got these big numbers that show the debt on the side of it. And it shows what each individual person basically owes. And it's well over 20 million. If it not, it could have been 20. It could have been 20. It was 20 million. Pretty sure it was 20 million per person. And yeah, because it's like $658 billion or some stupid thing that BC's in debt. And it's all because of these fires and this destruction and having to rebuild these highways. Like, we've got landslides between us and where my storage is in Penticton. My stuff is stored in Penticton. I live in Kelowna. Normally it's about a 45-minute drive. Beautiful drive. It's just gorgeous. But since last October, there was a bad landslide. And it's cost them millions to widen the road. It's been blocked. It's been just 2 lanes instead of 4 lanes since October last year. And they have spent millions and millions trying to fix this problem. Because the roads, and it's happened twice. Like, just before that, there was another landslide just up the road from it that blocked roads. It's just been one thing after another. So they have no choice. They have to spend the money. They have to fix the problem, or there's going to be a major issue and you're cut off. And it already happened. When the slide came down, there was no way to get to Penticton. Like, it happened between Summerland and Peachland. And like, we're talking like, what was it, 50, I think it was 50,000 cubic meters of rock came down on the highway. Like, literally, just boom. Like, it was huge. Like, they had to move. And I understand this because I've actually spent time in the construction industry doing these big things, controlling and figuring out where to do this and, you know, whatever, controlling all these dump trucks and figuring out where it has to go and the compaction levels and all that. I have a history with that stuff. So I understand the costs and what's involved in 1 million goddamn tandem dump trucks loads. I mean, that's what it is. It's like literally got to be 1 million of them. They've been driving every day, all day since August. And it's just truck after truck after truck to take the material out. Well, where are you taking it? That's a lot of material, man. Well, thankfully there's so much construction around here that they're crushing it, I would imagine, and using it for the bases of all these big projects and stuff like this. But I mean, it costs so much. Yeah, people have no concept of how much this stuff really costs. Like, it's crazy. Like to build a subdivision is is like literally $500,000, man. Like like you're building a subdivision with 21 houses and the roads and streets and everything. It's literally like $3 million is what you can expect something like that to cost. That's just a small subdivision in a small area. I mean, they've had traffic control. Like we're talking an army of traffic control has been on that highway with their cones and their equipment, miles of it, since August. How much does that cost? That equipment, that rental for those people, all of those employees, all those people to be there all day, every day, all night, 24/7, they have to be there. Even though they're not working all that time, they have been at some points, but there has to be traffic control. There has to be somebody there watching 24/7. So how does that cost? Wages aren't cheap, man. They pay these bucks. These people get paid $25, $35 an hour. That shit adds up fast. So, it is what it is. It's just, I have such an understanding because I've been a business owner. I've worked construction. I've been a first aid guy. I've been an ambulance supervisor. I've been a district supervisor. I've worked in mechanics. I've worked in electrical renovations. I've done just about anything you can think of a little bit. So I have a pretty good understanding of what's involved. And it's such an immense feat. The logistics and all the stuff that has to come together is just mind-boggling. I have to actually pay attention to what I'm doing here because I've just been talking to you forever. I got to go do my battles, which is fine. I can do them while I'm talking, but I have to remember that I actually have a purpose here. So we're going to go to the Sea of the Dead. And we are going to go down here to ice first. Oh, the ice. Yep, cold damage. And that be the way, man. That be the way. Well, needless to say, I don't know. I got a lot to say. I always have a lot to say.
Well, nothing wrong with that, that's for sure. Well,
I'm one of these guys that sees the positive in everything. Like, you'll hear me. Shit happens, whatever. You have to look at it from both sides all the time. You have to think about what happens behind the scenes that you're not aware of. Like, people get so angry when something happens. It's like you can't improve infrastructure without doing the work, people. You can't have a new bridge without taking the time and destroying the traffic routine and everything else to build it. Like, you have to tear out the old, you have to put in the new, you have to deal with the traffic nightmare it's going to cause for the 2 years it takes to build it. Like this kind of stuff. So everybody wants something better. It all started somewhere. You think the roads are shit? No, you should have seen them, 100 years ago. It's like, wow, Canadian roads are radically improved, I'll tell you. Through the Pine Pass, the road to go for my dad had to travel it when I was young to go to work. He had to drive from Chetwynd back to Prince George through the Pine Pass every bloody other day. And it was like literally, he was lucky to get through. That road was so goddamn dangerous, the chances of not dying were slim. But now it's way, way better. But it costs millions of dollars to fix those roads. I mean, BC's mountains are brutal, man. Like, we're dealing with the Rockies. You don't just have it's not like building a road in Saskatchewan where it's flat for 300 miles and you can literally leave the one city at night and see the lights of the next city 300 kilometers away. You can see the lights of the next city. And it's straight. No curves. It is the most boring drive. It's all prairies. You can literally drive off the road through a farmer's field and you wouldn't even know you left the road. You could fall asleep at the wheel and get there. It's like, you got a Tesla that drives itself, that's the place for it, Saskatchewan, man. It's flat and there's nothing. Nothing. As far as the eye can see, it's just straight. I would shoot myself in the face. I would. It would drive me nuts. I'm sorry. I would get so bored of that so fast. I'm born and raised in BC. I'm used to driving on roads that goats shouldn't travel on. So, it is what it is. To each their own, but I like my hills and my mountains, but my hills and my mountains tend to cause snow and avalanches and, like we deal with that kind of stuff, whereas the rest of the world deals with or tornadoes or earthquakes or bloody hurricanes or stuff like that. Well, we're forest fires, we're avalanches, we're mudslides. Those are the things that affect us. And I'll tell you, a mudslide can wipe a planet off the face of the freaking earth and bury everybody and everything in a heartbeat. And the only thing you heard coming was the rumble that sounded like a freight train before you were buried alive. It's a horrible thing, but it's a concept that people have to be aware of, man. Safety and awareness is half the battle. Learn. Pick up a book. Be aware. When you're going on a vacation in a new area, have some sort of clue what you should expect. Like, what kind of wildlife is there? What should I dress? What kind of clothes should I take? Like, what am I going to be dealing with?
Yeah, last 100 years, life has really changed.
Oh, God. The last 20 years, life has changed crazy. The last 40 years for sure. Oh, my God.
Well, from the mid-50s, things just escalated so very quickly.
Well, that's the thing, man. Once they started to add technology, and especially once they actually added computers, once this stuff happened, the advances started to happen so much faster. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you think, man. You see this phone right here? This stupid phone is more powerful than you can possibly imagine. I mean, what you can do with this stupid thing is ridiculous. When I was growing up, they didn't have that kind of stuff. Like it just didn't exist. There was no cell phones when I was 10. Didn't exist.
When I was a computer programmer, I bought myself a new computer, and one of my leaders said, "Do you realize that machine right there is so much more powerful than what we put into hotels to, manage a hotel? The accounting package, front office, managing, moving people in and out, the back office accounting."
Yeah, and your first computer was a brick paperweight compared to what they are nowadays.
Actually, my computer now, even though it's a little bit smaller than that, is heavier.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean literally. I just meant it just to be used as a paperweight because it's heavy. But it is what it is.
Now, my favorite case was a big tower case, and it actually had external drive bays, and I had two swappable drive bays. That way I could, do projects. Okay, I'm going to do, graphics work. So, the application and my graphic files are on one hard drive, and I can pull that drive out and swap it, for gaming. Another one for movies. It was great. I gave it to my son, and he got rid of it. I wish I kind of.
Yeah, I wish you would have kept it because it was actually worth money. It was actually worth money. There's a lot of collectors that like that old shit, man. I really wish I would have kept my old trash 80s, my first computers and stuff, and my dot matrix printers and all of the cassette systems that they used to use that I had. It was crazy. Like people now, if they saw a computer the way I was using a computer in like when I was 14, like the computer that I used at 14 was cartridges. They didn't even have operating systems yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you had a cartridge that would plug into the side of it that had a game in it. Or you would take that same slot and pull the game out of the cartridge, and you would put a big thing that was on a ribbon cable that would go to the external floppy disk drive, and that's how you would basically run that. You had other things, like you had your dot matrix printers. There was no such thing as a monitor. You just bought a normal TV and connected it to that. So it was $4,000 for this stupid basics just to get it. And you know, back then, that's a lot of money. Like we're talking 40 years ago, $4,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And that's how much, I mean, this is why I get such a kick out of the GenX conversation out there. How, like, the GenX says, oh, well, yeah, we were latchkey kids and everything else, and everybody talks about how we had to do everything ourselves, and it's true. I did walk, literally, a couple kilometers every day to and from school. Like, I lived in small-town Chetwynd, and it was a long ways, and it was 40 freaking below, okay? Like, we lived that. It's true. But, on the other side of the coin, they never talk about our parents. They say, they make it sound like we were neglected, or like our parents didn't love us. Like they were working, they were doing it, and they were that. But no, my parents worked their asses off. They gave us everything. They did the best they could. They had to work those 2 jobs because it was coming into a time in life when there was technology was coming, all of these new advances were coming, and all of the kids want this and they want that, and they want video games, and they want this stuff that's becoming mainstream, like the Atari 2600 and, you know, the Telstar systems and the stupid things that you modern people don't even know what the hell they are. Like, that's what started this stuff, man. Like, they went through multiple levels of home gaming systems to get to the PS5, I tell you. It's a lot different from what it used to be.
Oh,
But
man,
that's the point, right?
I can do the, retro gaming,
Yeah.
and I don't like it.
I can't, man. I can't play those old games. They bore the crap out of me. I'm sorry. I'm not a retro gamer. I can't even watch. Like, there's movies that I love that you try to watch them now, and the acting is so goddamn corny, and the visuals are so bad. I can't watch it. I can't do it. It's like, no, just not interested anymore. It was a great movie in its day when it released. It was the best of the best. It was all they were capable of, and it was amazing in its day. But by today's standards, it's complete garbage. It just is.
So crazy.
But anyway, the point about the parents with the Gen X thing was just flat out. Like, our parents worked their asses off for us. They provided. They did what they had to make ends meet. World was becoming more expensive. Families needed to work to be able to survive. And they worked their asses off, and they did the best they could to make sure we had everything that we wanted, and we had freedom. We would literally go and spend 12 hours a day, and nobody knew where we were. I was doing my own thing, man. It just is the way it is, right? Like, I don't know. I just had to put a little shout out there to the parents of Gen X, because the parents of Gen X were hard-working, dedicated people, and my mom and dad went through hell to try to make sure that we had what we needed. You know, commuted multiple hours to work in different towns and stuff like that to make sure that they could work. Like, my mom drove every day from Chetwynd to Dawson Creek through freaking blizzards to goddamn to feed the family, you know, and my dad, same thing. And I still have those parents. My parents have been married for 56 years. They're right there around the corner, still together and loving each other every day, and that is very rare, even for a Gen Xer. A lot of us don't have, our parents are divorced. I'm one of the few that had a great, great family life and upbringing and everything else. It's the rest of the life since I was 20 that has kicked me in the face. My family life is fantastic. I love my family. If it wasn't for them, I would literally be living in the street. I'd be homeless right now. I wouldn't have nothing. All of this stuff, if it wasn't for them paying for my storage. My mom and dad are at 70, in their mid-70s, are paying for my storage of my entire house. It's costing them like $300 a month. that I can't pay for. So I have to achieve a new, I'm trying to create a new career, and I'm trying to expand and do what I can and make a living here, and I'm very good at this stuff. I'm a good speaker for the most part. I'm tattooed. It's all good. It is what it is. I'm just a very friendly, knowledgeable guy that's down to earth. I've been through hell. I'm personal developed. I've done the work to try to be the best me I can be. And I still have a lot of work to do, man. I'm not perfect. Never will be. But I'll tell you, I am not the same man I was decades ago. I just am so much different. And now things don't get to me. I'm not angry. Nothing bothers me. You can't rattle me. If you get to the point where you rattle me, you better look out, man. If you cross my line, you're done in my life. But getting to my line will take a shit ton. Because I can put up with it. I've been through 10 major relationships. I've started over in 6 times in life from nothing. Left with nothing and started from scratch 6 times. I've been in 10 major relationships, but they're not, some of them were 4 months, this, that. I have children from shorter relationships that cheated on me and freaking, whatever. I've been treated on by every woman I've ever been with, and I'm not the problem. I had issues. I needed to develop. I needed to be better. Absolutely. No question about it. But I've done my work. Now it's just hard to get through my door, because not only have I had these relationship issues and all of this other stuff in my life, I have been scammed so many times by these online scams and bullshit. Like, you get to the point where you're low in your life and you want something to be real and you need money and you want to believe it. Or even the scam where it's the woman that was supposed to get off the airplane that you sent money for her plane ticket that never got off the plane. Boy, that one will break your goddamn heart. Yeah, I went to the airport to pick up this lovely woman that was supposed to be coming from England to meet me and be my lady if at all possible. And I went to the airport to pick her up, and she never got off the plane. Because it was all a scam. And they still tried to continue it on, but then I pulled in my IT professionals, because I've always been a computer guy. I pulled in the team of techs and IT professionals behind me, and we sent her a link that had a fisher in it. So we sent her a link. All she had to do was click on the link, and it told us that she was actually in Africa, which was, the whole thing was a complete lie. There are agencies, there are literally buildings full of people in Africa that are paid legitimate money, jobs, to rip off North Americans. That's what they do. They go to work all day, 9 to 5, and that's their job. Some of them work the night shift because they're dealing with people overseas. Their purpose is 100% to steal your money. That's what it's all about. And they will play you. There's some fat guy that basically sending you pictures of some beautiful black model that's supposed to be in Europe or something this, or some beautiful woman that's just, it's all just a scam. And with today's AI technology, it's 1,000 times worse. So be careful, because the world is out to get you, and that's all there is. Since COVID happened, the online scams, that's part of what killed my business, because I used to be OCD Multimedia. I was literally a web design, business consulting business, and I was very successful, and I was doing fine. And then COVID hit. And the problem is that I built websites for like literally $75 to $150 a month is all we charged. I did all the work for them, and then it was just monthly payments for a 2-year contract after the fact that would help pay for the work that I've put into it. So if they quit and left within the 2 years, I didn't make a dime. So it was a very thin platform, but it was very good for small business, and I had a lot of clients, and it was just monthly revenue and you would maintain and take care of their websites and make sure they were safe. As soon as COVID happened, you suddenly had to have a $300 security package attached to every website, or they were going to get stolen. And that's what it is. It's like all of these scammers are out there taking your eye there. They'll take a grandma's bloody website just to use the IP address as a route through so that they don't get caught. That's what it's all about. It's all about technology and scamming and hacking and all of this stuff. And if you don't have the right protections, the firewalls, the secured sites, and everything in place, and maintain it, you are going to get it stolen. And that's just the way it is. So many customers started getting hacked and started having problems. I literally had to go to them and say, look, we can't stop this unless you literally put firewalls. You're going to have to pay more. Well, they can't. So the customers, COVID basically took out their businesses, so their website shut down. They couldn't make the changes. They couldn't make the fixes. I couldn't pay the bills anymore because I don't have the clientele, and that's what happens in the world when things go sideways.
Oh, yeah.
But it is what it is, man. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you just get through it, you do the best you can, and you move on. What are you going to do? No sense whining, no sense crying over spilt milk, as they say. I'm not saying that the world did me wrong. I'm the one that made the decisions. I'm the one that's responsible. The buck stops here. At the end of it, there's things that I couldn't control. But if I would have made different decisions in different places involving my money, I probably wouldn't have been there. Of course, the money thing was chasing love and trying to actually find a family and be happy, and spoiling the woman that I'm trying to be with that just turns out to be a gold digger and fucking leaves. So it is what it is.
Well,
6 times.
Monday, my wife reached out to me, and she wants to actually finalize the divorce papers.
Well, that's going to be in your best interest. That's one place I got really lucky, man. When I actually got divorced from my Australian wife that came all the way from Australia to Canada, and married her and spent 9 years together. But needless to say, then when that all went sideways, it was I lost my train of thought completely. Just gone. Right out the door.
Well, I don't know what. I guess. Severing that tie will, keep her from, having the ability to maybe reach out and grab my finances, or worsen my finances.
Well, it frees you up from it. I mean, it's better if you're divorced and you're separate, and it's going to stay that way. Then it's in your best interest to just be there, man. You got to move on. Hanging on to the past does nothing but destroy you.
Oh man, it's been a rough week. I at least, first of all, I don't trust her one iota, but she is kind of a friend. I mean, I would,
Okay, here's the number one piece of advice that I am going to give you, man. If you continue to keep the toxic person that destroyed your past in your life, you're not going to change your life. Period. Toxicity needs to be removed. She is a problem. She's always been a problem. She doesn't respect you. She doesn't treat you right. Remove her from your life. Period. That's the only choice. She does nothing for you. She does nothing for you. She brings negativity and upsetness and cost, and there's no reason for her to still be in your life. You've gone your separate ways. Go them. I just did the same thing with the ex of mine that cheated on me, that I tried to hang on. I forgave her and everything else, and through it all, she still went and married the dumbass. So it is what it is. She didn't even tell me she was going to marry him, and she's supposed to be my friend. We're supposed to be maintaining the friendship, stay in communication, do this, because it was a unique situation and whatever. But the point is that when you can tell me in the same conversation that your daughter is getting married, and then when I come back and all of a sudden see you on Facebook that you've been married, like you're literally, there's pictures of your wedding and everything else, you're married. Well, we had a conversation just a couple of days ago, or couple of weeks ago, and you didn't even bother to tell me that. And then her response comes back basically saying, well, you were too busy talking about yourself. and what you're doing, so I didn't have a chance. Well, then how come you had the chance to tell me about your daughter getting married? It's 3 words. And it's not even true. I wasn't talking about what I was doing because it was through text, and we were actually having an argument because she was being her same old self, blaming everything on everybody else, and then telling me that I'm doing that. So it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, and that's time. I literally, the minute, all I did was text, and I said, wow, you're married. And you couldn't even tell me. We are not friends. Goodbye. And I have not responded or said one word since, and I never will. We're done. I deleted her from Facebook. I deleted her from my life. You're done. Your life fell apart at the beginning of COVID. I saved you. I literally moved her from Alberta to my home. I supported her and helped her for 4 years. I gave every penny I had to make sure she had the $4,000 a month house she wanted. She had this, she had this, she had everything she goddamn wanted. Well, my finances and my world went to shit because I was living beyond my means and couldn't afford it. But I gave everything I had to her because I was chasing and trying to make the relationship work. There is no making a relationship like that work. She never gave me a chance from day one. There was no point. She was using me as an ends to a means. The minute the money ran out, she no longer wanted to be around me. She went to an Alberta job to work for the military as a medic for a month, and she fucked some other guy for 2 weeks while she was there. And then she comes back, she walks in the door, and I'm a brilliant man. I am very intelligent, and you cannot pull the wool over my eyes. The minute she walked in the door, I looked her in the eye and said, you've cheated on me. And she could not. She can't lie to me. She can't. So she admitted it. And I just pulled it right out. I said, you can lie all you want. You can try. You've cheated on me. You're done. Get out. I'm done. And then we had a talk and everything else, and I calmed down, and I forgave her, and then I found out that the whole time over the next 2 months that she's playing me, still, saying, oh, we'll make it work out and this, and still sleeping with me while she's entertaining this other guy. He came and moved her out 2 months later. She left me in a freaking house I couldn't afford to pay for. And that was, I mean, it's a long story. I ended up moving with a Japanese girl that I had met at the time, and she ended up being freaking whatever too. So it is what it is, man. I mean, you just have to be so careful. I'm just scared to death of everything these days. But I don't care, right? I just don't care. I'm done. You can't phase me. You can't cause me, you can't rattle me. You can come and you can try to scam me, you can try to get money out of me, you can do whatever the freak you want. But the problem is that now the first 90% of this conversation is going to be, I'm trying to figure out if I can even trust you. We can talk until you're blue in the face, but until I actually have proof that you really are who you are, I don't believe you. You know, I can put up a false front and a face, and I can lie to your face, and you'll never know it because I'm very good at it. But I'm not that person. I'm honest. I'm true. I'm straightforward. From the day one, I'm going to tell you who I am and what I want and what I've been through and da-da-da-da-da. And that's where it's at. If you don't like it, if I see one red flag, I'm done. Goodbye. Because I've done it too many times, and I am not doing it anymore. And that's all there is to it. I have zero faith in people. I don't trust anyone. Just don't. Because 90% of the planet is just out to steal your money, take you for granted, use you in some way to benefit themselves. And that is the case. And I say 90% because it's freaking true. There is 10%. There is exceptions to every rule. There is a lot of good people in the world. But there's a lot more bad ones, I'll tell you. And the people that are bad ones don't realize they're bad.
Oh, yeah.
It is what it is, man. I don't know. I just ramble and get into these tangents and these talks, but I am so self-developed. I'm going to actually start doing TikToks to help people figure this shit out because, man, I've been through it. I can recommend a lot of really good books to people that will help you on your personal development journey. Because awareness is huge, man, and it only takes a few simple books that you read to really open your mind. And as long as you're willing to just understand and believe and open your mind a little bit and understand things. Like, it's the same thing. I mean, you get so many people out there that you'll say law of attraction to them, and they'll just say, oh, that's bullshit, voodoo crap. And it's like, yeah, well, neuroscience has proven that it's real. So go jump off a bridge, folks, because the law of attraction is real. It has been proven by neuroscience. Go look at a doctor called Tara Swart. She is brilliant. And she's got 3 PhDs, and she's an absolute frickin' genius, and she'll open your eyes to how you actually should be. It's not easy to be. It's not hard to be a good person. It's really not. Learn how to meditate. That's very important to every person. Breathing exercises, meditation. Learn how to calm your soul. Study a little bit about emotions. Learn how to shed emotions. Emotions are nothing. They're a brain's response to an action. It'll pass in 10 minutes. Why let yourself get all worked up? And I'm just as guilty. Not now, but I was years ago. It's why I've had so much problem with people. Because I am trying so hard to love and appreciate you. And you're not responding in any way. I didn't understand. It's like, why are you always angry at me? Why does everybody say I'm angry when I'm not? I'm just trying to be heard, and I have a deep voice, that a family trait that we talk louder when we're talking serious, but it comes across as misinterpreted. So that's basically the gist of it. It's just, I don't know, man. Knowledge. Awareness. It's 90% of the fight. It's just, you're going to be, if you have a clue, I mean, you get 2 people that aren't compatible with each other, they can become the most volatile, horrible people you have ever known. But the same 2 people in the right relationship with the right people are beautiful. Because I'll tell you, I've lived it. I've been there. I understand that a woman can drive you so freaking crazy that you're borderline violent, and the cops are showing up on your doorstep because the neighbors think you're fighting physically, and all you're doing is trying to defend yourself from her hitting you. So you grab her arms just to stop her from hitting you, and the next thing you know, as a man, you're the guy in jail. It's like, stop hitting me. Well, next thing you know, the neighbor saw it through the window, and I'm the bad guy, because they always assume that. But it is what it is. I just left. 2.5 years. I was in that relationship for 9 years, had 2 kids from it, raised her 2 kids for 9 years, and just got used, and she was a drug dealer, freaking whore. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know, with the getting the divorce, I don't know what that does with my relationship with my youngest stepson, his wife.
Why should it have any difference? You're separated now. You don't live together. You have no relationship. They don't even let you come for family events. How does that make any difference? What is it going to change? Squat diddly. Yeah. It financially removes you from obligation and lets you pursue and move on, which is what you need to do. Leave the bitch in the past, because she's a bitch, and you're done with her. And she's done with you, and she will do nothing but continue to use you for the rest of your life. Any woman that does what she did with the trailer with the kids is a waste of fucking skin.
Yeah,
period.
You probably haven't even heard 5%.
And that's my point, man. And at the 5% level, you don't need it in your life. You have your own issues. You're alone. You're trying to survive, man. You don't need her. Move on. Find somebody who can respect you. Or don't. Live alone. Learn how to be your own best man. Learn how to love yourself first. Because until you can love yourself, you can't properly love anyone else.
Yeah.
And that was the last lesson that I had to learn. The last lesson that I had to learn was exactly that. Learn how to love yourself. Because my entire life, it was all about everyone else. I hated myself. I didn't give a shit about me. It was all about everyone else. I would put everybody and everything before me. Nowadays, I'll put the lady of my life on the same level as me. Treat her like an absolute goddess, because that's the guy I will always be. But if nothing comes back, I'm not even going to be in the relationship. It's like, this is a two-way streak. You're a couple. It's give and take. You know, it is what it is. You have to have communication. But communication is very hard. If you don't know how to communicate, you will never succeed in communication. If the person that you're trying to communicate with is not having the same open mind and on the same page and actually wants to better themselves and learn and work it out, you're wasting your time. Even yourself, if you're not prepared to hear it. I mean, this is the same example. Is I was in a bad place when I was in my early 30s. I had just left the 9-year bad relationship that I was talking about. I was working for a technology company, doing the best. My boss was one of these overachievers that graduated at 15 from university and had his first business at 16. And I literally went and he basically, I mean, I was at a bad point. I mean, right at that point, the basic understanding is that I've been very insecure my entire life because of bullying. Bad bullying that happened when I was a child. It took me 40 years to get past it. Like literally, we're talking the last 8 years of my life is when I have really changed and really understood and grown. The beginning of it was just confusion, trying to get through life and figure out why is everybody reacting to me in ways that they shouldn't be. You have to learn, you have to understand. So you have to understand communication. There's a book called Nonviolent Communication. A person should read it. Absolutely. It's the book that medians, or not medians, the hell is the word? The guys that negotiate between two big ends, like two countries, you know, they're trying to end a war. The moderator or whatever he is, the guy that is the middleman that they communicate through so they just don't end up fighting. They're the person that's going to write and read a book like that. Nonviolent communication. It will learn you how to... Pardon?
Mediator.
Mediator, yeah, that's the word. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, X. How are you, man?
I'm just the whole time over here. I'm just listening. I'm not saying anything because the whole the concept of your guys talking is like really serious. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, well, you're all good, man. We're just having a conversation. I'm not actually serious. This is me. I talk to the world. I don't care. I'm sitting here playing a video game, looking at the stupid screen, and just trying to help people grow. I mean, I've been through shit, so I like to help people. If there's anything I can do to help somebody, just if they're willing to listen, you know, I can change your life. And just a few little freaking pieces of information is all it takes. You just have to open your mind and be ready to do the work. And it really doesn't take much work because these little simple books that I recommend are so simple. We're talking the 5 love languages is a very important. If you're in a relationship of any kind, read the 5 love languages. There's actually 7 of them, depending on which you read, but the 5 are primary. So that's basically it. The 5 love languages. The 4 agreements, which is now the 5 agreements, because there's actually a new book or an add-on to it. Actually, 2 of those books are literally right here. Come on. This is the 4 agreements.
You can't see it.
Why is that stupid thing doing that?
I'm audio.
You just focus on your face so it doesn't show it.
Stupid thing won't show on the camera. Okay. Well,
it's okay.
There's a simple fix to that. I am just going to drop the stupid backdrop and show you the room behind me.
Rick, I sent you a picture.
Okay.
When you are finished, look at the picture, and this whole thing is from yesterday.
Are you trying to tell me that you pulled all these heroes yesterday?
Exactly.
If I could come through this phone, I'd slap your ass right now.
What?
It's just because you're too lucky, buddy. It's like, yeah, okay. So you got Charlock, you got him, you got Premsta, you got Gulende. Do you realize how powerful of a summon team that you have?
Dude, the summon team is like, it's crazy. It's,
Now
using since yesterday.
that you have all these characters as your primes, you should really focus on getting Utior. The season
Utior?
exclusive. You should try to get Utior because you have the other four characters. The conversation that you had the other day is like, why are they focusing so heavily on necrotic? Like in the artifact and the other thing that they were giving you, like you were talking about that. It's because the middle season character is necrotic. Utior is necrotic. That's why they're focusing on giving you Charlac in a legendary necrotic artifact. And now that you have Gulende and Premsta and Gaelor and Charlac, it's like, holy shit. If you had Utior, you would have a 5-man summon team. You know what Utior does? I think he reses. Or it's either reses or he makes them immune. Or he makes them immortal. It's one of the two. So he's going to be the support character in the middle of that team that is just going to go, holy shit. So that's
So the
basically
team
that.
that I'm having right now, when you see the damage, you will get scared, because the thing is, the guy with the flame in his hands, okay, he summons the other summonings. He's like duplicate your stuff.
Yeah,
So it's like
yeah,
really,
I'm
really-
aware of what he does. Yeah, you suck.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
you
you
suck.
suck.
I've been trying to get Gulende forever. I actually have Charlac. I have Gaelor. But I don't have Premsta, and I don't have... the other one that you would want to pull is the other necrotic tank, which is the exclusive, the only one that has ultimate down, I think is what it is, that actually removes health from people, is Behringer. Behringer. If you ever get Behringer, man, holy, you're set for a necrotic team, because Behringer would be your tank at the front of that would just be holy crap a chicken duck. But anyway, now that you can actually see it, this is the law of attraction.
Okay.
Come on, you stupid camera, catch up.
Yeah,
There you go.
Guess it, so it's everything fine.
Okay, so that is the law of attraction. This is a very, very simple read. Like, this is a simple read. It's quick, it's efficient. You do the little exercises or whatever at the end of it, and you'll see things start to change in your life. Just that quickly. It's very simple. Follow the concepts of it, and once you have the understanding, it will make a big choice. This is the 4 agreements. Now, it is now the 5 agreements. It's actually been upgraded. There's been another agreement. Now, this covers things like being true unto your word and so forth and so on, and explains how. Now, these concepts in these types of books, they take lifetimes to put into place. So for young people, if you actually look at this stuff and learn this stuff early in your life, it's going to change your life and make you a much more prosperous person in the world. Simple as that. It's just going to. So the other one is nonviolent communication. Nonviolent communication is the most difficult read of the bunch. It is a pretty good book, and it is pretty in-depth. But even if you just read the first 2 or 3 chapters of it, it's really going to open your mind. The other one is the 5 love languages, which will teach you literally how people love, how they communicate, and what is going on internally in your partner and in yourself. The other one that's big to me is there's the book that's from years ago that's Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. That was one of the first relationship books I ever read, and it really gave me an understanding of how women think we're 2 different animals. You have to understand that men and women are completely different. And if you do not follow Like, men are closed. We've been typically, like, as a Gen Xer, we were raised to be tough. You're not allowed to cry. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to have feelings. Men have more feelings than you will ever know. And if you don't support them, you will destroy your man. It's just that way. You have to be aware of these things. You have to follow through. But it is what it is. Like I said, awareness is half the battle. One of the other big things is meditation. Learn how to meditate. There's all sorts of guided meditations on YouTube that you can just listen, and they just guide you through it and learn, and you can slowly do it over time and learn how to do it on your own, and eventually you won't need guided, and you can just do it on your own. I'm a big believer in chakras and energy and the universe, and everything flows together. It all works together. You can call it spiritual, you can call it God, you can call it the force. I don't give a shit. It's all the same thing to me. I don't believe that God is an individual person. I believe that God is a concept. Like, it's an energy, it's a force that brings us all together. It flows through all things. If you live within your energy and follow your requirements and your streams, you can really grow. And you just have to understand yourselves, right? Like, you have to understand who you are and how you are. And that's basically it. Like, there's 5 books. Then there's another thing, literally, Dr. Tara Swart. Dr. T-A-R-A-S-W-A-R-T. Dr. Tara Swart. She is a world-renowned neuroscientist that has literally proven beyond a doubt that neuroscience and the law of attraction work together. It's real. It's completely real. And you just have to understand the concepts, and you have to change your vibrations, and you have to change your energy, and you have to program your brain to do what you do. And it's all just simple exercises that you can do. It's really not hard. Like I said, reading the books, you're 50% of the way there right now. You're done, halfway there. Just awareness will open your world and your ability to communicate and understand so radically. It'll change your life. It'll change everything. It's not just relationships, it's everything. When you learn how to communicate, when you learn how to listen, when you understand yourself and the reason. The other big thing that I recommend, other than Dr. Swart, literally just see some of her interviews. Just watch some of her YouTube interviews and listen to her talk. She's genius. And she'll just open your mind. She talks about journaling and breathing and meditation and how it all comes together, and she can do it way better than I can. But the other one is, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about emotions. There's some really good examples. Be careful. Don't believe everything you read or hear. You want to pay attention to the good ones and so forth. Me, I'm a law of attraction manifesting machine. So when I go looking for something, it just comes to me, and it ends up being the right one. And that's just what it is. I literally, that was the final step about how I had to control my emotions. So I started watching videos and learning, and I don't like to read so much because I'm getting older and it's harder on my eyes, and I can't read on an iPad and it struggles me. And then reading in a book, and it's just getting to the point where I do better with an audio book or a visual. So that's what I prefer.
I'm the same way. I've got a huge television as a computer monitor.
Yeah, I got a 65-incher right there as my monitor, and I got two 27s right here. So.
and things are still blurry.
Yeah. See, I'm okay. I'm actually in the point in my life where my dad's blind. Right? He's gone blind in the last few years. He's got perfect peripheral vision, but everything he's looking straight at, he's blind. He can't see nothing. He's legally blind. And it's because of a family trait that came from his mother that expanded things and made it worse. So I'm a little cautious, a little concerned that something might happen with my vision in the future. But right at the moment, I'm fine. I can see fine. These are just normal glasses. Got no issues. So, but it's something I'm very conscious of. Okay, two big mouth salmon and one rockweed. I've tried to do this 1,500 times, so I'm just gonna go and quickly do it. But anyway, this emotion video that I was talking about is it just teaches
Guys,
you
I have to
about
let you guys
emotions.
go. See you. See you soon, okay?
Yeah, you betcha, man. I'm sorry, I just babbled too much.
No, it's totally okay. You have to just leave. You have to leave. That's why.
All right.
Thanks for the advices, man.
Well, it is what it is, man. I just like to help people. I've been through this shit a lot, and I'm still here, and I'm still smiling. So if I can help anybody or save anybody any stress or grease in their life, I totally want to help people.
See you guys soon. Have
Yeah,
a nice
take care, bud.
Take care.
Yeah, X24 deleted his account, man. He accidentally hit the wrong button, and he deleted his Season 3 account completely, lost it all. So he had to start a new Season 1 account.
No.
Yeah, he's good. He spent money on it. He had huge legendaries and teams and everything else, and he accidentally deleted it by hitting the wrong button. Poor dude. It's just not fair. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, the last thing about that is the emotions. Emotions are just that. These quick videos are fantastic. Like, they're just...
in a DM?
Yeah, I can share them, man. I'm actually going to create some videos and some TikToks about this type of stuff and provide the links and everything else. But yeah, I'll go find the links because I'm pretty sure they're all still saved in the back end of my YouTube. In my history, they should all still be there, so... But yeah, they were just... I frickin' can't say enough about that Dr. Tara Swart woman. She's brilliant. Such a pleasant lady, too. She's so easy to listen to, and she speaks so well, and just down to earth.
I've been downloading one podcast. Run over to a Wi-Fi spot where I can park outside the building and get some content, and then
to keep you from going nuts without internet.
Well, it's so much.
Yeah, you're not playing my game, man. My sponsor game this week. It's actually a great game, but I'm not getting any credit for it myself, so I ain't making a dime on it. But this week's sponsor game is actually, what the hell? I can't even remember it at the moment. It's brand new. It's awesome. It's actually really different. Oh, it's Game of Thrones. It's Game of Thrones. Winter is Coming is the new game.
I worry about not having Wi-Fi because on my cell phone.
Yeah, you don't need any more issues. That's for sure.
5 gigabytes, and basically, within a day or two, I used all that up. And
yeah, it goes really fast when you're trying to stream that kind of shit, man. You gotta be careful.
Well, I guess I was, chatting, over. Well, I was receiving video. I was basically kind of watching you on, and you can't not receive the data.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the back and forth connection. You can't avoid it.
So, going forward, well, and then I don't know how things are going to be in the future. I'm kind of thankful that I'm not just mindlessly vegging out in front of the TV.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate that. Oh, jeez, I still didn't do it.
God. So I could get away from my computer.
Mm-hmm.
I went and actually got a disc and hooked my, get this, PS3 back up so I would have a Blu-ray player
on my TV.
and started watching Harry Potter, and still recovering from Houston. We have liftoff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I slept through most of it. I don't even though I've watched the movies several times. I have no idea. Uh, why am I not be able to claim these?
If it's been over, what, your rewards?
I guess I guess
I don't
it's
know. What
just
are you in? Dragonair, or what are you in?
yeah. I was trying to
If it's been over 30 days, they will have expired.
no, it was our alliance commissions.
Mm.
I thought I had two, and I collected 8 or more, and it was just like here's your 100, here's your 100, but the screen didn't change. So I
I
was just
see.
like, freaking weird.
You gotta wonder, man.
I since I like kind of being in games, I revisited Fallout 4.
I actually downloaded those. I might get into Fallout. I played the original Fallout right to the end.
Well, I have I think all the DLCs, and the one thing about the game that I don't really like is right off the bat, your main quest is to go find your son, but there is just so much to do. Uh, you know that concentrating on going to rescue your son, and I can't even remember uh, what that's all about. But I am playing the DLC Bar Harbor. Uh, I It kind of paused a little bit, and now I'm back doing uh, Nuka-Cola World.
Oh, yeah, okay. Nuka-Cola. Yeah, okay. I know that.
And then there is the DLC that adds a lot of robots, and that's uh, I'm getting a lot of random robots.
I haven't played Fallout since the original, man, so I have no idea what's in Fallout 4.
I really enjoyed it.
I played
I
Fallout
enjoyed
the
it.
entire thing. It was freaking hard in some spots, man. There were some spots I really struggled to find the thing to finish the quest, but
Oh yeah,
that's kind of part of the game, right?
and then I think there's also a DLC that allows you to build uh, what is it like factories. I haven't seen that yet, but there are some of the storylines that I really want to kind of see them advancing. And I forgot that I was wanting to download some information
Hmm.
so that I can kind of streamline some of my play, and not because it's so easy to switch over and try something new and then realize that it's not really that better. It's just different. Uh, One of the storylines is the Brotherhood of Steel, which is against synthetic humans. And there are two different types of synths. Uh, and uh, I should be unlocking getting to the blimp, because I've done uh, five missions for each of the two the 2 liters that I'm doing.
Well, the nice thing about American Prime is it gave me Fallout. It gave me like 3 and 4, I think, on American Prime because it's free and they give you so many free games all the time. So I actually have them to play. Like I do have them. I can play them. So I'm interested in taking that up and starting it as one of those games. I've been looking at this. I think it's a free to play too. Is this Descendant game? This new Descendant game. I've been looking at that too, just to play it. Even Elden Ring, I've been thinking of, but I can't buy. Have to buy that one, so I can't. So, but yeah, no, there's Fallout is definitely something that I could get into again. I'd almost like to get back into another raid group or something, like, you know. So I remember the days of Rift and the 20-man raids. I love that shit, man. Now I'm actually in a place where I can actually play all day long and not have to worry about it and shit, and I don't have to worry about wives and children and all that other shit, so I don't have to go to work. I don't have to do nothing. I just play the goddamn game all I freaking want and create content and live and share it with the world and, you know, all that fun stuff. Oh, I got 69 viewers. Good number. I like it.
Blows my mind. This week I have, spent a few hours playing Fallout 4, and I feel I have caught myself feeling guilty that somebody is in the other room, catching me playing, and it's just like, it's just a little bit here, a little bit there, and it seems way easier.
I've really struggled in my life with finding a partner that didn't think anybody who gamed was a complete loser. Whatever. That's what I've been. I've always had women that just had no understanding of gaming. If you're freaking sitting there playing a game all day long, you're just a loser. Oh, I don't agree with that.
It didn't allow me to play on the computer, and when we had our youngest, he got his time after school, and then it was my wife watching her shows that she really didn't watch because she was too busy texting her fiance, and then by the time it was my time, well, it was time for bed, so that was kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah.
But it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, you see, that right there falls on the get rid of this freaking woman out of your life when your conversation that you're having literally just said, I'm living in the house and being controlled by her, and she's giving the time to her fiance while she's still living with you and married to you? What the fuck?
Well,
yeah, I know the story, man. It's crazy.
engaged.
You just need to get rid of her from your life. She is nothing but a toxin.
She was engaged to be married to this guy before we got married. And she would complain to me about my best friends that were women that I put out of my home.
This is the problem that we have as men in the world these days, man. This is literally the problem that we have in the world. Women want everything. They want it to be 100%. They want everything they want. They want complete happiness. You have to meet their every goddamn need before they're willing to give you anything. That's it. That's that. You want anything from me, I need everything that I need before I'm even going to consider it, or fuck you. That's basically what women are these days. Not all of them, of course. Like, don't get me wrong. Women are beautiful. I love women. But that's the world that we live in. Men are freaking screwed over. I've been screwed over so bad so many freaking times. You can't rattle me. I've been through hell and back 10,000 times, people, so good luck. And I'm still here, I'm still smiling, I'm still positive, because I don't want to be a bitter, negative person. That's not who I am, and that's not who I'll be. I don't want to be a crotchety old angry man. I want to be happy. And if I have to be alone to do it, so be it. You know, the point is that when you've given everything you have to keep multiple women in your life, and they've still just moved on, never tried, never gave the effort back, never did anything, you don't care who stays in your life anymore, man. You don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm better off alone. I don't need your bullshit. I don't need the crap that goes with it. You know, if you're an open-minded person that's going to be kind unto others and friendly and be logical, but it's like, why? You go try to find a younger woman or something these days. All she's doing is showing her tits to every man in the freaking world on TikTok. I mean, do you know how many? I can't even show my screens because my Instagram, my Twitter feeds, my Instagram feeds, are so full of sluts. That's all it is. Send me money. Pay me for this. I'll show you this. Go to my OnlyFans page. Do this. Do that. There's like one for 1,000 women that's not just showing you her tits. And that's all there is to it. And I'm not even exaggerating. It's ridiculous. Like there's one woman for every 1,000 that doesn't have some sort of a show you this, show me that, pay me, give me, I deserve it. Fuck you. Earn it. I've had to earn it my whole damn life. Why should I give I've done that. All that happens is when you give what you're asking for, when it runs out or you don't get what you want, you just go find somebody else. The women out there, they want 5% of the available, or maybe it's 1% of the available men. If you're not absolutely rich, they want nothing to do with you. And you know what? To that rich man, all you are is a trophy wife. And the minute that you don't take care of yourself, you're out the fucking door with nothing. You'd find out how much fun that is. I'm the one that's always left.
Thank goodness I don't.
And left everything behind.
Women that are really crossing my paths. I just don't. I don't need or want any of that. I would love, to be able to just
make a friend. You know what I want? You know what the most important thing to me in my life is right now? You, my friend. You. Friends. True friends. Wilwind. He comes and talks to me every day, man. Even if it is 5 seconds. I don't have that. I don't have a friend. I live in my house here by myself with my parents. My parents are my friends. They're the only interaction I have in a day. Period. I don't leave the house. I don't go anywhere. It's been so goddamn hot for a month you can't even walk outside anyway. But the point is I don't have friends. It's not because I'm an idiot or I'm a bad guy. It's because of the way I was raised. My dad was BC Rail. We moved constantly. Every 4 years minimum. Maximum, I should say. It was like 4 months to 4 years, but it was mostly about every 3 to 4 years we moved to a different town, new friends, new place. I have always had friends in every place I've ever been. I've always had a group. I always had people that I got along with and that was friends with. But at this point in my life, for the last 20 years, I have been the boss. Every time I move to a new town or a new place or a new thing, I'm always the boss. My job has always been I'm the owner, I'm the boss, or I'm the manager, I'm running this business, you're my employees. And nobody wants to be friends with the boss, man. And I'm not a drinker, I'm not a jock, I'm not a fucking stupid freaking moron. I got no patience for it. I am the kind of guy that is dedicated. I meet a woman, I'd dedicate my entire life to her. You're my best friend. You're the one I want to spend my time with. You're the one I want to be with. We make friends together. We move on. We create a relationship. But no woman in life has ever understood how that actually works. Give me, give me, give me. And then when it's gone, I'm leaving. Period. That's all they know. And it sucks and it's frustrating. And the women that are on my stream are probably going, you're horrible. But some of them are probably agreeing with me because you're starting to see so many posts on the internet and everywhere else about men trying to take back their masculinity. It's women are being shown, like they're all like, well, how come no all men are interested in me? Well, it's because we've been used and abused so goddamn many times. We got nothing left to give, man. I have been used and abused and treated like dirt and blamed for everything my entire fucking life. I have no time for it. If I want to be happy, I need to have you in my life. Leave me alone. All you guys do is cause drama and stress and bullshit that is unnecessary. Read a book, learn how to communicate, and then maybe we can talk. I haven't given up. All I've ever wanted is love and a family. All I've ever wanted is a woman that puts as much into the relationship as I do. Period. That's all I've ever wanted.
Man, I miss. I had 3, 4, 5 female friends that were really good. 2 that were absolutely amazing, and I really wish they were still back in my life. One of them, I am godfather to her 2 children, and because I got married, I couldn't go see my godchildren, couldn't go see my friends, and and they were very intelligent and very connected. One, it was part of Cherokee Nation in finance. She was while she was there, one of the last times I saw her, she was working on getting local farmers' crops to local markets, so that there wasn't a big markup, and that food that would normally, without man being involved, that food would be normally grown in this area, and that we would eat local food. She was working on that. Just absolutely amazing woman, and she raised 2 blood children, and then adopted 2 more boys, and raised them. And I'm sure that they're just about ready to go to graduate high school here in a year or 2.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how much time has gone by. But yeah, anything that my wife would say, if I would flip whatever she said, that was going to be closer to 95% accurate than what was coming out of her mouth. I mean, it was just so far removed. Oh well, yeah, there's a slight chance what she's saying might be true, but it's just easier to just go flip it 180 degrees and go, okay, that's what you're really saying. And I mean, contradicting herself all the time. Like there was a point where we were living off of my credit card, and the new month came up, and she's like, I'm gonna need some money from you. When can I expect that? It's like, well, you're gonna have to give me a little bit of time. You don't want me to get a job up here where we're living, and I can't commute every day to where there's real jobs. Uh, and she threw me out. And she says, to this day,
welcome to the world.
To this day, oh, I never ever did that. But she is so proud of herself that she stood up for herself. And you can't tell me that in less than a year I spent $25,000 supporting us, and how I was not contributing my half. And once we got married, she couldn't even contribute, a third, even though she was bringing the bigger half. Uh, she could not, contribute uh, a third or a quarter. It got to the point the only bill she had to pay was car insurance, and you know she was the only person driving, so it was really kind of just her bill.
Yeah,
And
pretty
even
much.
then,
Oh, I
I
could
was
I could tell you some horror stories myself, man. That'll just blow your freaking mind about shit. But it's like some of the things that my exes have done to me after the fact is just holy shit. I just wow. It's just hard to believe what they're capable of.
every week it was, oh, you know, will you loan me some money? Oh, will you loan me some money? Oh, will you loan me some money? Whether it be, $5 or $5,000, and I guess that's one thing that I worry about,
Hmm.
um, is not ever getting that back. I just don't. I just don't see that I really will. But again, the same kind of a thing. She made the comment how she has paid me back, and yet when I ask if she ever paid me you know every week $5, it was like, oh no. Okay, how do you pay back thousands and thousands of dollars without even giving at least $5? I mean, you're borrowing more than you ever gave. Uh, you know, we got to stop this.
I hear you. Change the subject, man. It's getting depressing. Yeah, we are the same thing. We make the same mistakes. We give everything we have to our partner. And that's who I am. I am all in from day one. Once we have decided to date, I will take it to the end of time. Unless, nowadays I actually, I have more respect for myself. So nowadays I can recognize it, but I'm never going to let it begin if it isn't the right thing. So. I mean, I've lived, man. I would never marry somebody that I haven't lived with. I would never freaking, it is what it is. You need to understand. It takes time. The first 4 months of a relationship is euphoria. It's bliss. Everybody's on their best behavior. They're all being, ooh, I would do the world for you. I love you. Everybody's so this, so that, and it's beautiful. But then reality sets in, and those feelings go away. And then you suddenly have to actually know each other and communicate and do these things and start to get to know each other and learn that she farts and she snores and it is what it is, right? Those are things that you accept. My ex-wife snored so bad I literally had to wear waterproof earplugs for 9 years. It was 9 years we were together. I had to wear waterproof earplugs. I just stuck these little things in my ears every night to sleep. She snored so loud I could not be in the same room. But I still slept next to her because I'm not one of those guys that's going to sleep in a different room. If I want that bum next to me. I want my wife next to me. My lady, I'm an affectionate guy. My love languages are physical touch. And typically you have a primary and a secondary. My primary is physical touch. No question about it.
Yeah, I liked holding hands and kissing, and she just wasn't into that.
Then that's the point. See, this is the way. This is the point. Reading the 5 love languages will explain The difference is why they are and how to address them. Because the point is that if you're in a relationship, what will happen is if you do the things unconditionally that fills your wife's love bucket, as they refer to it, then she's happy. She's fulfilled, okay? Because that's what a woman is. Women are emotional. Men are not. Women need love. Men need respect. Women need love. Simple as that. And they need to be confident. They need to be secure. They need to feel safe. That's when they open up their emotions and begin to want love, sex, this type of thing. It's, emotions are driven. When somebody is reaching out to you and you're talking to them, you have to, and being true unto your word. Like all of these books, all these things that I've mentioned, all tie together into learning how to communicate with your partner. So that when they come at you, you don't start a conversation. It's like, you did this and you did that and you did this. It's better to say something like, I feel that you reacted incorrect. I feel that what I said was taken the incorrect way. That is an observation. It's just put forward in a way that is not offensive. You're not attacking the person. As soon as you say you're attacking somebody. If you're aware of it, you can take that information because it's on you. The only person you can change is you. Period. That's it. I don't give a shit who you are. The only person that you can change is you. And only if you're willing and want to. And that's the way it is. Somebody else coming into the relationship saying, oh, I'm going to change him. No, you're not. If he decides to change to be that person that you need him to be, that's on him. But you have to be the person that makes the other person want to make those changes. If you don't fill my love bucket, there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to fill yours. If I'm doing all the work and filling yours and doing everything for you and cleaning and cooking and doing all the stuff and being the life and being the mom and the dad and everything else like I was with my first 9-year relationship, I was the one who worked full time. She drove around and dealt drugs. That's what she did. And she was a useless idiot. And at the end of it, she just cheated on me constantly. Like literally, I watched her get dressed in G-strings that she never wore before, that I paid for. And then she went to the bar every night for the last several months, and I was being told by everybody else that she's cheating on you. Well, no, duh, I'm not stupid. We haven't had sex. That doesn't matter. In the beginning, I was a man in the beginning. That's all I ever cared about. I would do anything for you. I would bend over backwards. I would do anything, be anything you needed to me. I would change myself in every way, shape, and could that I could, as long as I was getting laid. Nothing else mattered to me. It took me a lot of years to learn that there's more in life than getting laid. It is what it is. I'm a sexual guru. I love relations. I love intimacy. I love to take care of my lady. Massage, fondle, feel, pamper. It is what it is. But there's more to life than that. It's not everything. Believe me. I would much rather be happy in a good relationship and have no sex than be alone. But being alone is better than being miserable and unhappy because of an abusive relationship. Because lack of communication is literally an abusive relationship. If you can't communicate with each other, if every time you talk, if you don't feel safe, that's the thing. If you talk to a man, if a woman comes out and a man opens up, he finally opens up and bears his heart and soul to you, and then a woman comes back and uses that against him in an argument down the road to prove a point, that man will never open up to you again as long as you live. You might as well give up. Your relationship is dead. You've destroyed him. You've destroyed the trust. If I don't trust you, you're not in my life. And that's it. And I've learned that. It's taken me an entire lifetime of being desperate to be in a relationship, to be loved, to be wanted, to have kids, to have family, to just be the best I could be. I've always been the best I am when I'm in a relationship. But it's always the first few months, and then they just, it is what it is. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I've made mistakes. Half of it was my fault because I wasn't self-developed then. I didn't know how to communicate. There's a big-ass difference now when it comes to that particular concept, right? So, it is what it is. We do the best we can, and that's really all we can do. So.
Not any gnome knows the bottom of the sea better than I do.
Oh shit, Bell's actually in there.
Is something troubling you?
So I am going to put that back on you then. Yeah, Mr. Foolish Relationship Guru guy. It is what it is. People are people. I don't have any ill will. I don't hold anything against anyone from my past. I am very proud of who I am and who I have become. If anything in my life changed, I wouldn't be the same person. So, it is what it is. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I'm frickin' strong. Simple as that.
Those who blindly mine but never explore without otherwise.
Yeah, somehow I've gotta get all this behind me, and I've got 10 years of catch up. Working on, fixing my house.
Yeah, well, at least you have a house, man. I've been reduced to nothing. I live with my parents and I have nothing, so. I mean, it's a pretty hard place to climb out of this hole, because even to just go get a job or whatever, it's like, what am I going to do? Go work for minimum wage? Boy, that's a challenge.
I am so lucky that my grandmother locked the value of the house. That on the tax notice, it says like my house is worth like $65,000. The house across the street, which is half renovated, they're wanting to sell for $200,000. And it's not any more of a house. It's not any nicer of a house. There's no more land. There's no more, it's not like a two-story or anything. And my taxes are like nothing. From year to year. I am so very blessed that my grandmother and my mother kind of took care of me. And if I hadn't gotten married, I could have had a real enjoyable retirement where I wouldn't have. I mean, I'd probably still be working.
Well, the crazy thing about it, to be perfectly honest, is I have this 30-year-old young Asian lady who has contacted me and wants to get into a relationship. Needless to say, she is close. She lives about 4 hours away. She's beautiful. And she's basically just of the same frame of mind. She says, I've been through hell. I'm struggling. I can't meet anybody. The men of today are all bloody idiots, and I'm not having any luck. And I've been watching you online and listening to the way you talk and so forth and so on. So she says, I think that you and I could really do something together. So I'm actually pursuing that. Because I haven't given up on life, I haven't given up on love. I'm just very cautious and I'm very careful. And that's basically what it is. I still want to. I have a lot of love to give. So, and I'm a great catch because I'm a certified masseuse. I got a 9-inch dick and I know how to use it. Sorry, I put that out there. Anyway, but that's the thing, right? I'm a Libra. I'm balanced, man. I've been told by I'm also an empath, by the way. I am told by every naturopath or any spiritual person that I've ever spoken to that I have an aura around me. As soon as I walk in the room, they can see it, and they all tell me that you have a lot of power. But it took me decades to learn how to use and understand it. And power doesn't mean that you're out to hurt or harm people. It means that you have knowledge and you have awareness and you have a lot of good qualities. And it's just, it is what it is. Put them to good use. That's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to be the best me I can be. For me. Now it's for me. I'm not trying to do it for everybody else like I used to be. If I'm not chasing it anymore, I'm not looking for love. If it falls in my lap and I attract the right person, so be it. But the point is that I've been attracting the right people. The problem is that the right people haven't been self-developed enough to be able to be the other half. It's like the one of them actually taught me. She was the one that introduced me to the book. She was wonderful. But she is also wrecked. Like, she's been through shit. She's been single since she was a kid. It is what it is. She actually blackmailed me at the end of my relationship and took my trailer and all my brand new camping gear that I bought for us. So it is what it is. I don't trust people. It's always been that I will trust you until you prove me otherwise. But nowadays, it's hard to trust anybody without analyzing the heffing beans out of them first.
Well,
just to make sure that they're not trying to screw you over. 90% of people that contact me, they're either VTubers wanting to sell me covers. Like, everybody wants money from me. That's it. Everybody that wants to be anything to do with me wants money. Nobody wants to just be my friend. It's like, well, I want you to give me this. It's like, oh, you live in the same town. I want to have sex. But you have to bring me a $50 gift card for my kids so that I can send them next door to the neighbors. And they need a $50 Future Shop gift card. Well, sorry, sweetheart, I don't pay for sex. Not interested. Thanks. I don't need it that bad. This right here works just fine. It all comes down to the fact that women, relationships, life. I'm 52 years old. I'm at a point in my life. I have 5 kids in this world that I have no communication barely with any of them. Why? Paid child support for $60,000 for fucking over 20 years worth. I've freaking done my part. I was always the good guy. I did what I did. But my daughters are girls. They're emotional. The one is a Libra, just like her dad. I found them, I built a new relationship. I made one compliment to her. It was actually a compliment, taken as an insult. She hasn't spoke to me in 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. Yeah, literally. I was trying to be this hip dad. I was on her Facebook says, and she made a post, and I said, "Holy crap, my daughter's looking like a sexy biatch," which was a compliment. She basically to this day says I called her a bitch, and she hasn't spoke to me since. I was just giving her a compliment, called her a sexy biatch. Spelt B-I-O-T-C-H, and that was the dealio. But, nah. It is what it is. I made a simple mistake, and I have been beaten up for it for 6 years. She will not speak to me. One stupid mistake. Trying to be, a hip dad. But whatever. My other daughter, she only lives an hour away and she doesn't speak to me either. At least I get a happy Father's Day or something from her. 3 words a year, that's about it. Used to talk a little bit more, but I have granddaughters now from both of them. Born on the same day. 2 different daughters, 15 months between them. And my granddaughters were both born on March 29th, the exact same day.
An hour ago, I read a post where my daughter had, posted up a meme about, grandparents that, spend time with their grandkids. And, she called me out on Facebook that, I help the family. I help her family, so that she and my son can, they're on that. She kind of works during the day and he works during the evening.
Yeah.
And there's an overlap, which would really kind of screw them over. That if they had worked further apart, then they wouldn't see each other.
Yep.
So because of that overlap of them working, I watch my grandbaby, and it's great.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to do that. It's one of the reasons why I moved to Penticton with this other woman, because that's where my daughter lived, and it was fun. I lived there for 6 months, and I never saw her once. Not once. Lived literally a block away. Never saw her once.
Yeah, my son's dad has spent so little time and provided so little support. I never said anything ever negative about his dad. Several times where he gave his dad, a chance to really step up and be a dad and whatnot, it just failed miserably. The last time he moved to Arkansas, he gave his dad all his money that he was making while working to live in the living room of his dad's little 1-bedroom apartment. And it sounds like it sucked. When I jumped in the car and drove to Arkansas, grabbed him and his stuff, the apartment was horrible. Filthy, and I'm like, well, shoot, with the amount of, he wasn't making like $7-8 an hour. He was making $14 an hour, years ago, which is pretty decent. And in the area that they lived in, both he and his dad worked for Walmart.
You realize that $14 an hour is less than minimum wage in Canada? We're like 16 plus minimum wage. People make $35 an hour here, so the cost of living reflects it. Like, yeah, even waitresses make more money than that, man. Like, everybody. Like, your mandatory tipping. A waitress can make hundreds of dollars a day in Canada because of our stupid tipping. But they also give them less wage because of it. But our minimum wage is literally like, I think the last time I checked it was like $15.67, but I think it's gone up twice since I saw that. So,
well, it's been about 4 years, so I have no idea what minimum wage is where I live.
yeah,
Oklahoma is the cheapest state to live in.
Wow.
Uh, it's just absolutely insane. One of my friends years ago, uh, he bought uh, just a little 3-bedroom starter home. I think it was $85,000. His sister, who lived in New Jersey, had a place that was half the size, and she was paying somewhere like $800,000 for it. But they make way more money in that part of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, my brother wanted me to come out to California, and I was just like, I can't comprehend, money out there. I go, somehow, some things are just a little bit more expensive, like food, but housing is just through the roof, and people that squatters had more rights than the homeowner. I don't get squatters' rights. I don't. It's something that I don't see how somebody can break into somebody's house and get to live there, and if they can write a bad check and put it in the mail, that is an attempt enough to justify not being kicked out. It's just, and they made a few movies, that were quote unquote comedies,
Mm-hmm.
but it's horrific. And I was just like, man, my entire life is kind of been here in Oklahoma. My life probably would have been, way different and way more enjoyable if I had moved out there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on top of things. I mean, he's always been improving himself. He's a manager of a plant, out in California, and just like you, every year they have forest fires.
Yep.
For several years, every time I would hear something, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my brother. My brother's just going to lose everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the fires are coming, within a few blocks of his house.
Yeah, it's freaking scary shit, man. And there's not much you can do about it.
And his area is, and I'm sure you probably have the same thing in your area. They literally have forest firemen.
Oh yeah, we're
all over the United States, and for several months they just
travel to fires all over the world.
They just get out there and just.
Yeah, there's a difference. We've got interface fire people, we've got structural fire people, and we've got forest fire people, and they're a whole different kettle of fish, and they all interface different because the forest firefighters don't know how to fight fire in a house. So the fire departments type thing that are structural firefighters, they're the ones that defend the edges of the city. Nowadays they have these trucks full of pump systems and stuff that come in, and they literally run these water lines and these whole systems through whole neighborhoods and their protection, like that's covered with running water and big heavy sprinklers and fire hoses, and it's all connected to these big valves. And they've actually got one of these big trailers in the region. They're adding a couple of more of them to Kelowna. Like, we're talking like these trailers are $1 million to outfit, if not 5. Like, they're crazy expensive, but they're lifesavers, man. Like, they need them. We fight so many fires. We're surrounded by full standing freaking pine forests, man. Like, in every direction for thousands of kilometers. Like, we have trees. You can build you can burn thousands and millions of acres and they still grow back. You'd be surprised how, I mean, that's the thing. A pine forest needs fire to grow. It's how their seeds open. Fire opens the pine cones so that they can grow new trees, and you'd be amazed how fast this forest will come back, and the greenery and the start of it. But to build a full old scale forest again, it's going to be 30, 40, 50 years. You know, certain trees grow way faster than others.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, I understand that. I'm literally a trained timber cruiser. I'm a trained timber cruiser from decades ago in the Yukon, actually. I've done a lot of things. I've been trained. I worked as an arborist, basically the front end of a tree company, basically a tree and landscaping company for the last 2 years, and before that went sideways. Before that, I've owned my own businesses for 5 or 6 years. Before that, I worked for other people all the time. And I basically started a new job, and with anywhere from 3 weeks to 8 months, I'm literally managing the place. It's been the way it's been since I was 20 fucking years old. Start in one place, and within days, I'm running the place. It's just the mentality I have. I'm quite an intelligent person, but I'm all self-taught. I'm not, no university. I went to college for automotive mechanics. I've just got a lot of hands-on experience. I'm a Xerox trained salesperson. Xerox is classed as some of the best training on the planet. And I was number 1. I am the only guy in history that ever closed the deal in training. I actually, because you do a whole thing, you have to do a whole presentation, you have to present it, you have to convince the customer to buy. It has never been done in the history of Xerox until I was there, and I am the only one that ever did it. Maybe it might have been done since, but it was never done before. And that was, the hell was that? About 17 years ago. 16 years ago. Oh, it was 2008. It was in August of 2008 is exactly when that happened, because it was a week after I got married. And then I had to take a plane and go to Ottawa for Xerox training for a week. I am a technology guy from the carpet up. Anything including from the office furniture and everything in between. Built multi-million-dollar companies.
I used to know a lot about technology and different things.
Things have changed a lot. You know, I haven't been in the technology game for decades, but I was the one-stop guy. Phone security, phone systems, surveillance, networks, wiring, server systems. Like, I've dealt with everything from the mom-and-pop shop all the way up to the big multi-billion-dollar mining corporations.
It was all easy, and now, you know, my computer will do something, you know, stupid, and it will be something completely unrelated, and it's just like, you know, I always thought that things should, you know, like computer programs, you know, gave you kind of a set result.
Nope.
You know, it's like you make a movie, and then when you put it out there, you don't expect random scenes to kind of pop up. Even in Fallout 4,